In the hot seat today, the all-new, and I mean all spanking new, the UNI-T UT890D Plus for your cheapo pleasure. This is going to be a good one. Let's take a look. Now, despite all that is going on in the world, and Lord knows there is a lot going on, between this ravaging pandemic and the, well, let's call it the ravaging stock market, it is one crazy, crazy time. But fear not, stay calm and multimeter on. That is my saying for 2020, and I mean it. The UNI-T shipped via eBay, and you know what? It came really fast. This got to me in around 2.5 weeks. All things considered, very, very nice. As always, UNI-T ships the multimeters in a really decent looking box. We're talking some major sizzle, folks. You gotta love what UNI-T does. Now, this was branded, I think, for the Chinese market exclusively, just because it is all in Chinese. Yeah, there is no English here whatsoever, but hey, no big deal. I wanted this model as soon as I could so I could bring the review to you guys, and hey, works for me. Now, there is two competing models in this range. You've got the one that we've got in front of us today, the 890D Plus, and you also have the 890C, and the difference between the two is very minute, but at the same time, it is a difference. The 890D Plus has the live feature, whereas the 890C has the temperature. So depending on what you need or don't need, or what's important to you, you have a couple of options. And we know it's all about options. What else do you get in the box? Well, in classic UNI-T style, you get that nicely packaged. Everything was solid in plastic. Now, once again, I said this was originally destined for the Chinese market, so the instructs are all in Chinese, but, you know, fear not, we can read numerics. Thank God, something's universal. And yeah, all the specs are right there. As well, you get our UNI-T date of manufacture. As you can see here, we've got May 2019. Wow, what a difference a year makes. So, fabricated back in May of last year. Right now, we're in April of 2020. So, it's around 11 months old. But you know what? It's new. It's new. And as well, we've got our classic UNI-T leads. Definitely a step up from the typical crap that you see in the cheapo zone. These have a really nice solid feel, rather heavy, and generally speaking, you know, as always, I'm impressed with UNI-T in terms of their fit finish. We've got some nice shrouding on the edges themselves. I don't see any gauge per se, but I'm actually going to measure the gauge of that wire. I've got a set of calipers out here. These are my Shinwa calipers. Let's just turn them on, zero it out. Looking good. We are good to go. And 3.5 millimeter. Yeah, so we're looking around 3.5, 3.4 millimeters. So a little bit thicker than average. Typically, you're looking around 3.2, 3.3 millimeters. So, yeah, good stuff. Now, unfortunately, they're not silicone. No, they are not. But, once again, good length and all around decent leads. Okay, enough about the leads for now. Let's take a look at that sexy multimeter, shall we? Loving that UNI-T red. Definitely just, what can you say? It is the traditional UNI-T colors, and yeah, very, very nice. The boot itself, typical UNI-T, higher than normal grade quality, does not feel cheap in the slightest. Now, this came for around $38 Canadian, about 30 bucks US. Definitely good bang for the buck. Price-wise, yeah, very hard to compete. Getting a lot of money's worth with your UNI-Ts as of late. Take a look at the back of that tilt stand, standing bail, nice and thick and wide. Does a great job of holding that meter in place. And I always like UNI-T style tilt stands. Just good stuff, usually good stuff. 890D Plus is powered by two AAA batteries. Yeah, no worries about 9 volts, not with this one. 2 AAAs and you are good to go. Speaking of good to go, apparently my mother-in-law will not be able to make it down from the Ukraine this year. That's really too bad. I am not smiling. Honestly, I'm not smiling. It's too bad. Taking a closer look at the selector switch, starting at the midnight position, which is off. Going to the right, we have volts DC up to 1000 volts. Next up, NCV or non-contact voltage. Volts AC up to 750 volts. AC current up to 20 amps. And DC current up to 20 amps. Frequency up to 10 megahertz. Transistor mode. Continuity and diode. Resistance up to 60 megaohm. Capacitance up to a whopping 100 millifarad. Finally, live detect. The top left we have our yellow select button. In the middle we have our max, min, and rel. Over on the right we have our hold as well as the backlight. Now that backlight stays on for about 25-30 seconds, then it is lights out in Georgia. Finally, here at the top right, we have our transistor tester, nodules, and below that we have our visual indicator. That's right, when you're in NCV or continuity mode, we do get an audible as well as a visual indicator. Love it. Finally, at the bottom, we have our jack inserts. Now, it's too bad they're not color-coded. Come on, UNI-T, you can do better than that. Let's see the red for the positive input. Anyway, we've got our volts, resistance, diode, capacitance, live, frequency, volts, as well as continuity over here at the right. At the bottom, we've got our common input. Far left, we have the high current at 20 amps. And as well, we have our milliamps and microamps. Oh, girl, you are looking hot tonight. Sizzling. Let's turn the meter on. There we go. Nice, bold, crisp LCD display. And let's try that backlight. And you can see it is... Actually, I really like the backlight on this 890D Plus. I've been using the meter for about a week now, on and off. And I gotta say, it's been really pleasant experience. The display just seems to work. It's not glaringly bright when you have that backlight enabled, but it's just diffused perfectly. And everything is nice and even, no glare, and it's just a really good all-around liquid crystal display. Now, one annoying feature with a lot of multimeters these days is that auto off. Of course, it is selectable on this device. You can turn the auto off feature off or keep it enabled. Now, if you're going to be working on your meter for any length of time, I prefer to have it disabled. And to do that, very simple with the 890D Plus. Simply hold down on that select button, turn the rotary selector switch on. You hear those 4 beeps, and you can see that the auto off feature has been disabled. Yeah, it's aggravating when you're working on something and suddenly, boom, the meter shuts off. So I'm going to work on a multimeter for any length of time, and I mean more than a few minutes, 5 minutes, disable that auto off. Save some grief. Starting off with the DC accuracy mode, the solution, we're sitting at 249.9 volts, so just shy of 250. I'm going to take it up a notch here, and let's see if we're going to get 2.50 volts. And, oh, we are out, unfortunately, 2.512. Wow, we're out about 12 counts there. Try that one more time. I was expecting a little bit better. Now, 2.512 volts. Now this precision reference has been heating up for a while, so it's certainly not cold. Too bad, UNI-T. A little too far off for my liking. Quick voltage showdown between the UNI-T 890D Plus and 39C Plus. Sitting at about volts, 1.20 for the 890, 1.20 for the 39C Plus. Up and away, 4.8 volts, 4.878, 4.87 for the 39. Up to 7.8 volts, 7.91, 7.90. And we're going to max it out today at around, let's say, 15.2 volts. 15.21, 15.20. There you have it. Now, neither of these multimeters has a graph scale. That's always an added bonus, but unfortunately not the case with looking at milliamps right now. We're sitting at 130 milliamps according to the DC power supply, and we're showing us around 143 on that UNI-T. Okay, no, there we are, up to 140 now. So it is fluctuating on the power supply. Let's increase that. We've got a 600 milliamp threshold on the 890D plus. Let's see how close we can get, sitting at 260, 270, and bringing it up 320 milliamps thereabouts. And I have to put a little bit more volts in here. 400 milliamps, 440. So far, not a problem for that 890D plus. And we are over limit. Bring it back down. All right, so 5. See if we can get right on the cusp. 590, 600 milliamps, and we're just over. So just over 600 milliamps, and then it fades. Not a problem for the UNI-T. There you go. Just wanted a second opinion, and yeah, that power supply is displaying a little low. As you can see, we're showing the same slightly higher average on the key site. So yeah, it's not your fault, UNI-T. Darn power supply. Take a quick look at resistance, sitting at 6 mega ohm right now. 6.004 coming up on the UNI-T. See how fast it is to settle, bring it down to 1 mega ohm. Yeah, that's nice and fast. Let's try 100K. No worries there. 110K. Looking good. 111K. Not too shabby. Let's try 200K. 200 ohm. And I got to bring it down just a little bit too high. That is one of the things with the non-auto-ranging multimeters. When you're in resistance mode, you do tend to play with that selector switch a little more than usual. So 200 ohm, not bad at all. 220, 222. So we're off around 5 counts or so there. 300 ohm. But once again, you can see it settles really quickly, and yeah, I like it. Already got a 511K resistor, 1% tolerance. 511K, let's see, how close can we get? 5.97, hey, that's pretty good. Let's try one more. Another 1%, this is 8.25 ohm. Here we go. And yeah, I gotta bring it down once again. 8.25 ohm. 8.5, 8.6. So we're losing some of that accuracy in the lower resistance ranges. Brought out the 39C just for the heck of it, and yeah, look at that, 8.3. So a better accuracy on that 39C in the lower resistance range. Next up is capacitance. Now I've got a 100,000 microfarad, 100 millifarad capacitor electrolytic sitting here. And yeah, let's start off with the big boy, shall we? Let's see if we're going to hit that 100 millifarad cap. Now, in this sense, at least, the meter suddenly is an auto-ranging because it will find that variable capacitance on its own. Here we go. And there we go. Let's try that again. Come on. Alrighty. And there it's off to the races. Oh my God. Something to be said for editing. You know what? I'm not going to edit this one. I'm going to run it live. Going to go with the flow. There we go. 3, 2, 1. And finally, we're up and away into the millifarad range. Is it going to give us that 100? Oh, there we are. Yeah, I had to think about it. 96.7, 97.6 millifarad. That is pretty darn close. Always an error with these high capacitance capacitors. And yeah, that looks spot on. Great stuff. So fairly fast too. I like it. All right, on the opposite side of the spectrum, here's a tiny little 0.47 microfarad capacitor. So tiny. Here we go. And showing us pretty close, 507 nanofarad. Next up is diode mode. Now this is one fantastic multimeter for diode testing. And why is that, you say? Good question. Well, when you're testing a circuit board or you're doing multiple troubleshooting in a day, you really want to sit there and do the diode whiplash thing. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. No, you don't. You want to have something that is consistent and consistently easy on you. And what is easier than an audible beep? Just like that. You don't have to keep turning your head to see if you got a forward voltage drop, to see if that diode is any good. No, you just listen for that audible diode beep. That tells you the diode is good. Most meters shipping today, expensive or not, do not have that feature, and that is priceless in my eyes. So UNI-T and every other cheapo vendor out there, please, oh please, when you have diode mode, incorporate that audible beep. It makes a huge difference. Loving it. All right, let's see if we can get these LEDs lit. Starting off with the green LED. It is lit, and there is our forward voltage drop over to the yellow. Same thing over to the red. Looking good. And the blue, it is lit, but we're not getting that forward voltage drop. Finally, for the white, same thing, lit, but no forward voltage drop. So 5 out of 5 in terms of illumination, 3 out of 5 in terms of actual indication. Hey, pretty darn good. Maximum output in diode mode, 3.03 volts. Worth mentioning that the selector switch is just awesome on this multimeter. Clackety-clack, clickety-click, changes those ranges with authority. No worry about getting lost in between ranges. I like it a lot. It's a little bit more tactile and a little easier to move than the 39C Plus. Really, really nice selector. Another cool feature with this meter is the max min. It is something like a touch hold, but just in a slightly different way. So let's enable that feature. So we put it on max. Now we want to check voltage perhaps, and let's try with that here. It's going up. You can see our maximum voltage is there, and it's going down now. You can see it automatically held the highest reading as the max. Now if that voltage goes up again, you'll see it kicks in and we are good to go. So it is like a hold feature. Very, very handy dandy. On the same token, you touch the min and you can cycle between your maximum and minimum readings. Alrighty, Aphrodite, it is continuity time. Yeah, one of my favorite times. I never get tired of saying that, ever. I feel like I'm playing the drums here. Alrighty, stock default test probes, 3, 2, 1. Oh, that is slow. It is latched, it is loud, but it is slow. A good half second to a second delay. Ah, too bad, too bad. Probe masters, here we go. 3, 2, 1. That gold plating definitely makes a difference. Still not fast. It is latched, it is loud, it is faster. If I go slow. If I go fast, definitely misses more than one. So, too bad. Wowee. I was expecting a little bit better in the continuity department. I mean, am I being picky? Is it me being picky? Let me know. I don't know. I don't think I'm being picky. .9 dBA is the maximum output. Now I heard some Yahoo on another channel not too long ago say, why, oh why do some people go like this when they're doing the continuity? Why? Well, let me explain why. If you're doing a lot of circuit testing, sometimes I go through hundreds of boards in one day, and for the love of God, my clients just could not afford to pay me to do this. No, I wouldn't be in business for very long. I charge by the hour. Capiche? But if I'm doing something like this, I can right away troubleshoot that circuit super quick and diagnose, or at least get into the position where you want to be in to do further diagnostics. Saves a lot of time, and it's really dependent on how quick your multimeter is at that continuity. So, yeah. Looking at LiveWire next. Now, this is one of the features that comes with the 890D Plus, and you're not going to find it on the other model. Once again, this one does not have temperature, so depending what you want, you have an option. Now, for the LiveWire itself, it is not NCV. I got a lot of people that, for some reason, they think LiveWire means you can put it into live mode and start doing this. Well, I mean, technically you can, but you look kind of stupid. I mean, well, silly. You know what I mean. It just, that's not what live is. Live is simply putting your probe in to the positive input, and you're probing. You're actually looking for that circuit. And once you find it, you can see it tells you, yes, there is some live juice there. Proceed with caution. Now, the nice thing about this meter as well is you do have that nice visual indicator as well as the audible. So, looking good. Now, while we're on the subject of live and NCV, let's put it into NCV mode. And this is when you don't need any probes and you just start looking for, you got it, juice. So you see it's a little more sensitive here. Now, obviously you would be behind walls most of the time looking for wires, what have you. In terms of sensitivity, yeah, it's probably not the most sensitive. Try it here on a desk lamp. And you can see, yeah, it does work. But once again, not ultra uber sensitive. You're not sensitive enough. You know, it's not sensitive enough. Yeah. Already after ID, time to get down and dirty. No, I'm not gonna have a mud wrestle, but hey, maybe later. We've got, let's see, not a whole heck of a lot. Let's start off by taking off that one screw here. And whoa, look at that. Wow, you don't see that every day, especially on a cheapie. Beautiful. We have that nice brass threaded insert. Gorgeous. There's our two AAAs, and look at that. Instant fuse gratification. There's our milliamp and our high current fuse together forever. Well, at least one of them blows. And, you know, easily changed. Awesome. So to get in a little bit further, I'm going to remove a couple more screws. Be right back. All right, we are on the inside. Starting off with the reverse back, there's our two connectors for the 3 volts coming in from the AAA batteries. And yeah, once again, no shielding, no surprise. Wow, I'm telling you, whenever I see shielding on the next multimeter, I am gonna pop a bottle of champagne. You heard it here, guys. And we are gonna celebrate, yeah, because I don't know. I don't think it's ever gonna happen, but all right. Up close and personal, here we go. Starting off with that current shunt. Oh, I like it. I like it. Nice and thick and big. Yum, yum, yum. Good stuff. Now we look at those inserts. They are of the split variety once again. Hey, no worries there. They're in solidly, and we do have that back end support on the reverse of the chassis. So lots of stability there going on. And we have some really nice clearance here between the fuses and those input jacks. Some isolation slots over here. Generally speaking, that whole area looks really well thought out. A little disappointed with UNI-T in terms of the fuse rating themselves. This is the high current fuse here. And as you can see, yeah, 16 amps, 250 volts. 16 amp fuse on a 20 amp rated meter. So, don't like that. If it's 16 amps, then rate it accordingly. Also, in terms of input protection on the current side, we have a couple of MELFs, and we have a diode clamp right here. On the milliamp side itself, we've got that 600 milliamp. Again, it has that 250 volt rating as well, but at least it is rated accordingly at 600 milliamps. Once again, both of these fuses are ceramic. I really do like those resettable polystyrene fuses on the lower milliamp ranges that some of the multimeters incorporate nowadays. But yeah, it is what it is. Also, we have one PTC on the milliamp side as well in terms of current protection. On the voltage side over here, we've got two PTCs. That is it. That is all. But generally speaking, very nice layout, nice and clean, lots of space, and good stuff. Moving up the board, you can see, wow, that main IC over here is cobbed, and it seems to be doing everything. Wow, this is pretty sparse in terms of the overall outlay. We've got our one speaker piezo over here, and here we have some programmable slots for factory setup. And wow, look at that NCV right here. That is embedded into the PCB itself. Now, I'm still more leaning towards the non-contact voltage detectors that have that nice filament that protrudes. This is not as sensitive by any means, as you could tell when we ran the tests, but at least the inlay is quite large. Looks like the main IC here is doing everything. No other ICs are to be seen whatsoever on the PCB. Further down, we've got the rotary pads themselves. Nicely done, and yeah, I like what I see. These are our soft touch buttons here for the selectors, and if we look at that selector switch itself, it's going to pop right out. Comes, and once again, we do not have any balls in this meter. No, it is a plastic housing mechanism. Now, this is a little bit better than the last one we looked at least. The plastic itself is a higher grade PVC style plastic, so it's definitely going to be able to take more wear and tear in the long run. So they've done away with those stainless steel balls and springs in favor of these plastic selectors. Now, I've got to say, this selector does feel really, really nice, as I pointed out. So we're not sure about the long-term wear and tear, but at least, the very least, it does seem to be doing a good job. Now, there is no grease whatsoever on the inside as well, but once again, you know, yeah, there you have it. Finally, deeper down we go. Here is the other side, and look at that gorgeous soldering job on those input jacks. It goes right through the PCB itself, and yeah, nice big even blobs of solder on every joint. Really, really like it. And not only that, you know, there's no flux residue anywhere on the board. Very nice, very clean. Definitely UNI-T is up there in the Q&A department, looking good. The rotary selector tracks themselves, once again, very nice. Now, it doesn't look like it's been greased whatsoever, but it does look nice and clean. That's our HFE transistor input over here. And once again, you know, you turn over this board, and generally speaking, it is just super, super clean. Finally, at the top, we have our big LCD display, and it is in there nice and solid. I like the way they've secured this mechanism. Very nice. Alright, going to put everything back together and come back with my closing thoughts. Closing thoughts on the UT890D Plus. Wow, I like this one. I really, really do. Hey, it's got some great build quality inside and outside. Super, super clean PCB, and I gotta say, I just love the way this meter feels in the hand. So nice. Such nice attention to detail. Keep up the good job, UNI-T. It's got an excellent set of ranges. I love that high capacitance range. And wow, this thing is fast to settle. That selector switch itself just feels so good, and it's a really solid feeling device. And what can I say? This thing has the diode beep. Can you imagine a good diode beep? Oh, I love it. You know, there's going to be a lot of people that buy this multimeter just because of that feature alone. What a super, super thing. And finally, the AAA batteries. Wow, excellent. You know, so no more having to stick a 9-volt battery. No, 2 AAAs and you are good to go. And finally, let's not forget that auto hold for the min-max. once again, UNI-T, I love it. Cons, the not so great things, well, let's face it, it's manual ranging, and that's going to turn off some people. And the accuracy in some of the ranges could have been better, definitely out of spec here and there. And hey, let's not forget 16 amp fuse instead of a 20 amp, then you got to change your ratings. But you know what, at the end of the day, I still think this is one heck of a multimeter, getting lots of bang for the buck. And it's really hard to do much better in the manual ranging world for that price. For 35 bucks or so Canadian, around $28.30 US, hey, it is a great deal. The UNI-T UT890D Plus gets a very solid 4 out of 5 stars. Wow, it is once again a interesting time we are living in. And, I just want to remind everybody out there, let's be safe. Let's be safe, wash those hands, keep that social distance, and we're all gonna get through this. I know it. Now, I've had a contest running. I'm actually gonna extend that contest to May 15th, just because of the way things have been going globally. Yeah, so if you haven't already entered, check it out. At least once a week, I'll be posting a multimeter picture, and basically you guess what that meter is, and you are automatically entered. And you know what? It's going to be a great prize. We're giving away at least $100, maybe more, worth of multimeters and multimeter paraphernalia. So for all us meter files, don't be shy. Make sure you join the contest. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this review. Till the next one, keep on testing.